Rent Day Rewards. We've partnered up with all of these brands across the country to give renters extra benefits on the first of every month. So for example, United Airlines gives all Bilt members 120 days of free elite status last rent day. Every rent day, you can go to SoulCycle across the country and you get to bring a friend for free because it's rent day. And so there's a lot of fun stuff that we can do that turns the first of the month into something fun, something rewarding, and something that helps your future.
Thank you to all our sponsors. And if you guys are interested in advertising with Rants and Gems, please make sure you guys email Jordana at rantsandgems.com. Our next guest, I mean, this guy has built a $1.5 billion valuation in less than 18 months. It's absolutely incredible what he's built. The founder and CEO of Bilt Rewards Cards. Ladies and gentlemen, let's throw some gems in the comments for Mr. Ankur Jain, founder and CEO of Bilt. Ankur, how are you today, brother?
I'm good. This is a fun show. I like this already.
Oh yeah, we got big energy over here, baby. Big energy.
always big energy.
Yeah, this is a good spice up to my day. I love it.
I love it. Well, first of all, thank you.
Spicy Q in the building.
We got Spicy Quiana and Spicy MG. We love it. We love it. So, Ankur, tell us about Bilt. What is Bilt?
All right. Really simple. The biggest expense for most people in this country is rent. Okay? You can go out for every other part of your life. You can spend money on a credit card. You can earn rewards points. You can get free travel. You build your credit. You do all the usual kind of benefits that come with digital and electronic spend. And then you want to go pay rent. And they say, sorry, you got to send a check. Sorry, we don't take card without charging you 3%. Oh, you wanted rewards points? Get out of here. You thought you were going to build your credit? Good luck. You thought you were getting closer to home ownership? Like, what planet are you living on? Right? And it's just one of these crazy things because your biggest expense in life should be your most rewarding expense, right? I mean, that's just how it should be. Paying rent on time every single month after you sign a 12-month lease agreement should build your credit because you're signing a lease agreement and paying your rent on time, right? Paying rent should be a step towards home ownership, right? Not the alternative because you can't afford home ownership. And so we came up with a fairly, I think, simple concept that turned out to be annoyingly difficult to build. But the simple concept was, what if you could just pay your rent with a card, remove the transaction fees, and allow you to earn the most valuable travel rewards points, report those payments to the credit bureaus to build your credit, and then allow you to use the credit history and the points when you're ready to buy a home to actually help you get your first mortgage. So that's what we built. And now with Bilt, any renter across the country can earn rewards points on their payments and use Bilt to do all those other things we talked about.
That's incredible. So if I'm a renter, right? So Bilt, first of all, this is a credit card, MasterCard, correct? What are the
like?
Go ahead.
You know, you have an American Express card or you have like a Chase card, right? Now with the Bilt MasterCard, you get all the typical rewards and benefits that you get with these other types of credit cards, right? On dining and travel and groceries, but with no annual fee, you also get the chance to earn points on rent. And that's how you can think of Bilt. So you're picking between, do I sign up for Bilt or do I get, a Chase card? With the Bilt MasterCard, you're able to finally get points on your biggest expense every month.
So what are the qualifications to get somebody approved for this Bilt MasterCard?
Generally speaking, if you have good credit history and you're able to qualify for other cards from other banks, you'll be able to get the Bilt MasterCard.
Okay, so what I was saying is if you're going to be able to get this card and they can use it to report their payments. So how exactly does it work? Does the landlord have to have a special swipe? What if they have a landlord that says, hey, we only want checks? How is that going
Yeah.
to help them with having this card?
All right. So as a renter, our goal was simple. We wanted to make it the easiest possible for you to get rewards on renting, no matter where you lived. Right. And so with the Bilt MasterCard, if your landlord takes electronic payments, you can go in, pay online. There's no transaction fee. Normally when you try to pay rent to the card, there's a 3% fee, which is why it makes no sense to be able to earn points. That no longer exists with Bilt. But to your
Okay.
point, we said, God, there's a lot of landlords who still want check. How do we make sure all those renters can get rewards too? And so we worked with MasterCard so that when you're paying your rent with Bilt, if your landlord only takes check, you can still pay your rent through the app with no fees. And
All right.
MasterCard and Bilt will actually send your landlord a check for you at no cost. So they get the check the way they normally would. You get the points and you get to pay digitally, and you can finally throw out your like 40-year-old checkbook that really no one should own anymore.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, Ankur, you are a genius. I just have to say that. I'm trying to find a loophole in your in your whole card, and I can't find one at
Now, I gotta
all.
tell you, you know what? I wish I was the funny thing is this is the simplest concept and idea, and I think that's why it works, right? It's just like what is the thing they say? Like sometimes the best ideas are the simplest ideas, and it's just the stuff that we overlook because we take it for granted. I think one of the things is we've all become so accustomed in housing that whether you're on the investor side or the rental side, that like that's just how it is, right? You
Right.
just pay your rent and you send it by bank ACH or by check, and that's just how it is. And there's a 3% fee. And it's sometimes when you just ask those dumb questions, right, that are like, well, why?
Yeah.
That all of a
Right.
sudden you actually open up the opportunity to create something a little bit revolutionary, right? And you saw that with ride sharing or Amazon. Like, why can't you just order a book online, right? And that was the start of Amazon. Um,
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. So let me ask you this though. You say you can now go into the app and you can send the landlord a check if that's their preferred method of paying. Like, so if
yep.
I'm a renter, I go on the app, I send my landlord $4,000 for January's rent, right? And it sends
Yep.
them a check. How long does it take for that check to be received to the landlord?
So, I mean, it's USPS priority mail. So usually 3 days, 4 days.
Okay.
I think this. What's nice about it is today when you send a check by mail for those people who do, right? You have no way of tracking it. These are just simple things, but like not only you get to pay digitally, but you also get a tracking number with Bilt, so you actually know when your check is being delivered, which is just an extra piece of comfort. But like the nice thing is today, thankfully, most landlords do have an online payment center that you can pay your rent with. It's just that they charge a fee to let
Mm.
you earn points, which is crazy. And now with Bilt, you can do that without paying that 3% fee, which creates a bunch. I mean, think about this. For the average American now, just by paying your rent, right? Let's say you're paying $2,000 a month in rent. That's almost
Right.
25,000 points that you're earning every year that you can now use to book a flight almost anywhere in the world for free just by doing what you're already doing. And I think that's the most important part about this business is we said, look, people are already paying rent, right? They're
Correct.
just not getting it back. And that's the aha exciting moment is you're going to do it anyways. But with Bilt, we can turn that into a free trip. With Bilt, we can turn that into your better credit history. With Bilt, we can help you get access to home ownership. I think that's the key.
You said something very important there, and I want to touch on this a little more. Since you guys have had Built, and we know that ongoing and recurring payments on your history will help increase your credit scores. For a person that has been involved in your program, let's just say for 6 months, on average, do you know what the increased credit score has been for those people?
Good
Yeah,
question.
so TransUnion, it's a great question. So TransUnion did a study on how rent payments being reported to the bureaus can help people with their credit score. And I urge you all to look it up because it was a fascinating study. The average person in the TransUnion study increased their score by 60 points with 12 months of rent payment reporting.
Wow.
Now, when you think about
That's great.
how big of a that makes, and you'll see like one of the things when we talk about home ownership, one of the things that you'll realize is for the same amount a month of a mortgage payment, right? The amount that you can afford as a total home price can change by 50 or even $100,000 depending on your interest rate that you qualify for. So
Mm-hmm.
having a better credit score that qualifies you for a better interest rate means for the same amount a month, somebody can buy a significantly bigger home, right? And I think that's a really exciting opportunity for this new generation of people coming up looking to buy their first houses.
No, that's definitely that's definitely exciting, man. I mean, the higher the
Yes.
credit, the lower the interest rate, the more you're
Yeah.
going to be able to qualify for. So I think this is definitely a game changer and a home run for everybody who's renting, and especially if you have low credit, maybe low 600s, and you're able to get approved for this Bilt Mastercard. This can actually help you and put you on the path of home ownership. There's something also great that you guys do as well, Ankur, is that you said with the points, you're able now to use this towards your down payment.
Yeah. So look, it's interesting. It's, when you think about rewards points, right? There's so many different
Mm-hmm.
ways. People have American Express points, they have Chase points. Everyone
Yeah.
knows about travel, right? You can book it to book flights, book hotels. It's awesome. And by the way, side plug, it took us a while, right? But we managed to get all the major airline and hotels to partner with Bilt so that now you have with Bilt, independently ranked the single most valuable travel point currency in the market. It is the first time in over a decade that a point currency has been ranked more valuable than American Express or Chase or Citi.
Wow.
So that's just
So
number one.
y'all coming
Side
for
plug.
American Express. That's what you
So
said.
so y'all coming for American
Y'all said
Express
y'all
title,
coming
huh?
for American Express. Tell us.
But that's one. I think what you really got to think about is for the average consumer, not everybody wants to just use your points on travel, right?
Right.
There's different ways people like to use that. And so like my mom loves to use her Bilt points on Amazon.com because you go to Amazon.com and it integrates with Bilt directly and it shows you your points at checkout and you can take off $20 or $50 or $100 just with one click, right? But then there are people, I think, especially in my generation and our generation, who are looking to build that path to home ownership. And when we think about how do you get someone who's 25 ready to buy a house when they're 30, 31, 32, there's a couple different pieces. First is having the credit history to be able to qualify for a mortgage, number one. And I think what people often mistake is not having bad credit. It's that young people today have very little credit history because nobody wants to
Agreed.
give you credit or you have credit, but then you can't get
Yeah.
credit to get credit. And it's this really weird, crazy loop. And so by taking your rent and building the credit, it opens that door for this next generation. So that's number one, which then gets you a better interest rate, which means that same person can now afford the home they want for the amount
Mm-hmm.
they're paying, monthly rent fees or other stuff. And then third is, can you start to take a discount off that down payment, right? And so with Bilt, like you remember, you're earning points with the card, but we have a whole ecosystem we'll spend time talking about where we have landlords that will issue you extra points when you sign a lease or renew a lease. We have partners like ride sharing and groceries who will offer you bonus points when you shop there. So as you
Mm-hmm.
earn points, you can use those points towards the down payment. And so let's say on like an American Express travel portal, you could use a point as like the usual thing is a penny a point is what they say. I'm sure you've heard that
Uh-huh.
before,
Yep.
like cent a point. When you're using Bilt points towards a home purchase, like a down payment, you get 50% more value. So you're getting 1.5 cents per point towards that down payment in addition to using the credit reporting to help you get the better interest rate. So it's something we really encourage and we're really excited about, right? Is get people not just booking flights and hotels, get them thinking about home ownership. Because once you start saving with points, it's also easier to start saving in addition to the points because you feel like you have progress being made, you know? And I
No,
think that's really
it
important.
gives you incentive to pay your rent on time. right? Not only can
100%.
you get these, probably a flight or a hotel or anything by accumulating all these points, but if you can use now your points to give you a portion of your down payment, I think that's awesome. That's a home run.
So I'll tell you, like, take one other thing. So you guys have a lot of investors that you work with that buy real estate, rent it out, help people buy homes and sell homes. I think when you're talking to a renter, think about the difference in messaging. You spend your whole rental life learning about how much housing costs by monthly rent, right? You can afford 1,800 bucks a month. Then you go to buy a house and someone says to you, well, this house is $500,000. And you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I pay 1,800 bucks a month. Maybe $500,000, right? And so for a lot of folks, it feels so out of reach because as a buyer, most people aren't educated on how mortgages works and how leverage works and what that actually means for a monthly payment, right? So one of the things I'm most proud of that we developed at Bilt is in your Bilt app, based on your credit score, your credit history, the current tax rates, current interest rates, we can show you in real time, based on how much you pay in rent today, the amount of a mortgage you qualify for today. And I think that is a fundamental change in translating home ownership into how renters think.
Yeah. Renters really do think about the monthly payment. I think so often they get caught up in what the actual price is, not recognizing that the more money you put down on the mortgage, the less your monthly payment is. And of course, the better the interest rate, then the better your monthly
Yep.
payment. So when we're looking at Bilt, you're going to actually help solve two pain points, right? One pain point is increasing their credit score so they can qualify for a mortgage with a much lower interest rate. Secondly, you're hitting the pain point of assisting them with they're not even thinking about it. They may have a certain savings for a down payment, but then in addition to that down payment, you're helping them save for a down payment with the Bilt app. So they're actually killing two birds with one stone, right?
That's exactly right. And look, I just think that's it. Like, if you're an investor and you're buying a home and you want to now flip it or sell it, you got to make sure that that buyer understands what they can afford. And part of what we
Correct.
want to do is make that so easy for people to say, actually, you can afford this and you qualify today, and we'll show you how. So that's one part, right? Keeping that aspirational element achievable for the everyday person here in this country. But then we also thought, like, you got to make rent fun, right? Because rent, no one likes paying rent today, right?
No,
No,
no one, no
not
one.
a dime. We don't want to
And
pay the
I'll tell
rent
you,
or the mortgage. We don't want to pay no bills.
and I'll tell you, like, I think you'll love this, but like one of the most fun campaigns we've created. I mean, I can't make rent fun, but I can make rent day fun. And I'll tell you,
Right.
like, it was really fun when I first went on social. The first time I saw a tweet from someone that said, I'm so excited, it's rent day. Thank you, Bill. And I was like digging in. So every month on the first of the month, kind of like Amazon has Prime Day, we've created Rent Day rewards. We've partnered up with all of these brands across the country to give renters extra benefits on the first of every month. So, for example, United
Mm,
Airlines gave all Bilt members 120 days of free elite status last rent day, right?
wow.
We Every rent day, you can go to Soul Cycle across the country and you get to bring a friend for free because it's rent day, right?
Mm,
If it's rent and you solve our puzzle, our Wordle puzzle that we put up, you have a chance of getting your rent paid that month for free, right? Last 2 months ago, we did a campaign where you could book a hotel with Intercontinental for half off using Bilt points on rent day, right? So there's a lot of fun stuff that we can do that turns the first of the month into something fun, something rewarding, and something that helps your future. Because look, at the end of the day, as important as it is to talk about home ownership and credit building, like, no one wants to be told to be more responsible, right?
right.
You
Facts.
just you want to just get more for what you're already doing, and you want to game the system a little bit, right? And so that's kind of, we think of Built a little bit of that like secret weapon where you don't need to be told to be more responsible. You just do what you do, and we'll take care of the rest for you, right? And when you're
Yeah.
ready to buy, like, we got your back.
And I was
Look,
looking at that. when I was thinking at it from a perspective of a landlord, right? Because at this point, you're making me wish I was a renter. I'm a little jealous. I am a little jealous of all these benefits. So I'm like, oh, let me think how can we figure out how we can
Well,
benefit
hold on,
the
Kiana.
actual.
Well, the biggest benefit us as landlords is these people are paying their rent. So
I mean,
like,
yeah, but
and
they
they're
are
getting
paying.
incentivized to do so. So me as a landlord, I love this right now.
Yeah, so I feel like as a landlord, they need to be pushing this out to their renters in order to incentivize them, but also really help them build their credits and position them to be great. So this is a really wonderful product. That's what I was thinking.
So
Like as a landlord, we should really be getting our tenants to sign up with Bill.
100%. And then look, for the larger landlords, right, which is a little bit of a different audience, obviously, but we also built a program called the Bilt Alliance, right? And so we went
Hmm.
out and we brought together Blackstone and Greystar and Avalon Bay and related companies and Equity Residential and all these larger multifamily owners and operators. And we said, hey, look, we can help you not just take the credit card, but we can actually help you have a payment center and loyalty program the way that Delta has Delta Sky Miles. And so
Hmm.
today there are 2.5 million apartments across the country that use Bilt and the Bilt currency as a way to incentivize residents to do things like, hey, sign a lease at our building and you can get 25,000 Bilt points as an incentive.
Wow.
Or, hey, if you renew your lease early, we'll give you a 50,000 point bonus. Now, for the property owners and these investors, that's a much cheaper and more financially savvy option than having
Hmm.
somebody move out, having a month of empty rent in between
Agreed.
units. And for the renter, 50,000 points has this massive arbitrage value when you use it on airlines and hotels, right?
Right.
And so it's much cheaper for the property, but a much higher value for the renter. And they end up reducing downtime, reducing vacancy, increasing the, speed of leasing. And so it's been really cool to see how this program works as well for the institutional landlords as it does for the consumers.
Can a mom and pop landlord create the same loyalty program?
So today, mom and pop landlords can accept payments with the Bilt credit card, the Bilt
Okay.
MasterCard. Um, we don't yet have the loyalty program open to mom and pop landlords, but that is something I'm working on.
How many units do you need to manage to create to be a part of this Built loyalty program as a landlord?
So I think our smallest partner today has 1,000 units,
Okay.
uh,
We
and
talking
then kind
high
of
level, not eye level, baby.
Yeah, this is strictly for live men, not for
Yep.
freshmen.
Yes.
We love it. We love it.
You heard
So
me.
with the points, right? How many is there a cap on how many points that one can earn on an annual basis paying the rent? Because in some places, I mean, here in New York City, I mean, the average one bedroom apartment is like $6,000 plus, when around the country nationwide is like $2,000 a month, right? So how many points is there a cap on how many points that you can get annually as a tenant?
Yeah. So today on with the Bilt MasterCard, you earn unlimited points on kind of your everyday spend on groceries or dining or anything you would use a typical credit card for. And you can get points on up to $50,000 of rent a year today. And we may actually now increase that just for this New York prices that have skyrocketed since we launched the product even 2 years ago. Um,
So with 50,000 in points, dollars and cents, what does that for folks out here who don't understand how points work? Like, what does that equate to in dollars and cents when you say 50,000 points?
so that's not as easy of an answer as I would love to tell you. It's so dependent on how you use your points, right? And so
Okay.
that's why you have all these blogs out there like the Points Guy and Nerd Wallet and all these folks who are out here telling you how to get the most value. And so, I'll give you an example, right? Like it could be a cent a point, right? So you could be $500 a point. Or like when I was flying with my fiance, we did a trip to Dubai and we got a business class, or sorry, it's a first class seat on Emirates for 100,000 points. Okay. That seat was selling for $15,000 if you were to buy it in cash.
Wow.
We were getting
Ooh,
50 cents a point in that case. So that would have been, a lot, significantly more
yes.
uh, in terms of the value. And so it really is dependent on what you're redeeming points for, what you're kind of the market is redeeming them at the time with the airlines and the hotels. And a lot of that really does depend on what our partner redemption rates are at the time, right? So if you've ever booked an airline, you know the flight prices are changing constantly.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yes.
but that's how.
So you're partnered with, pretty much all the major companies that are out there when it comes to reward points, correct?
That's right. So you can. That's what's so exciting is the built points that you earn from renting can be transferred 1 to 1, meaning 100 built points is 100 American Airlines A Advantage miles. 100 built points is 100 United Airlines miles. 100 built points is 100 Hyatt points. And so you can just keep picking where you want to use your points, and we can directly convert those for you
I
into
just
your
gotta
favorite
ask because
airline.
you skipped a major airline, ATL Shouty. What is going on with Delta?
I was just about to say that
What's
too.
going
All I
on with
fly is
Delta?
Delta.
What what's going on with
I
Delta?
know. I just you guys should all tweet at Delta that they need to accept rent points. But you can book Delta flights through the Bilt travel portal
Okay.
at 1.25 cents a point on the travel portal. So it's often actually a better deal to book a Delta flight with Bilt points than it is to book a Delta flight with Delta miles.
Okay. See,
Fun,
that's what I
Interesting.
fun
wanted to
fact.
hear.
Fun fact.
Interesting. Interesting. Go ahead, Q.
So, and on top of that, so we're able to use these points for miles, for travel, for anything else. So, when someone is looking to get into the Built portal, right, you gave them the minimum qualifications. We know they're going to receive a physical card, right? So, is this going to be a physical card they receive, and then they can also like pay on their card? On their like an American, like when I go to AmericanExpress.com, I can see my usage, I can see how much money I have left, I can make my payment.
It's a
All right.
card.
All
Okay.
right,
So
nice, slick.
nice. Look, it's no annual fee, but it's a premium kind of metal card that lets you earn 3x points on dining, 2x points on travel. Every rent day, this is another fun way we make the first of the month rewarding. For all your non-rent spend, you get double points on the first of every month. So you'll get 6x points on every dollar of dining, and
Wow.
Wow.
4x points on dollar of travel, and 2x on everything else. And so it's just, again, our goal was create real value for customers and they will come, rather than trying to just spend millions and millions of dollars on fake marketing and TV ads and all that stuff. And that's how we're able to afford so much value to the customer, is because we said focus on the things they actually care about, like their biggest expense, which is rent.
Correct.
And so far, you know, I'll tell you, like, seems to be resonating, right? I mean, we've grown as the fastest growing fintech company in the country over the last 18 months. And, you know, it's allowed us to grow from a zero to $1.5 billion business in that period of time.
Yeah, let's talk about that because I don't want that I don't want that to go over nobody's heads right now.
Correct.
You've built from zero to 1.5 billion dollars in less than 18 months. How the hell did
That's
you do
incredible.
this? We need to know.
Now, look,
We need the inside scoop here.
Jane,
All
I'll
the
tell you,
scoop.
though, they say, right, behind every overnight quick success story was 7 years of hard work, right? And so this was
Agreed.
many years of just having been building relationships in the real estate industry, learning about how the banking sector worked. I mean, when we first had this idea, it was a few years ago. And I remember I was thinking, how cool would it be if people could use their rent history to qualify for a mortgage? Like, it seems obvious, right? And then my lawyers told me, well, the only way that'll ever happen is if you get the regulations changed. It's like, crap. We spent 2 years working with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, just going down to Washington, D.C., back and forth from New York to D.C., until at the end of 2019, we got the initial approvals to be able to use built points to help cover your down payment. and to
Wow.
help with your credit history counting towards mortgage qualification. And so, you know, again, that took 2 years alone
Wow.
just to get that. So it's true, we've only been live for 18 months, but it took a
Right.
lot of groundwork, learning, and getting people on board. And then once you came out in the market, I think that's the most important thing is product market fit, as they say, right? As an entrepreneur, you're always looking for product market fit.
Correct.
And I remember my dad's always told me growing up, right? If you want to build $1 billion business, solve a $10 billion problem.
Mm.
Mm.
Rent rent is a $500 billion a year spend category. So, you know, the rest is kind of history.
At this point, I'm looking at Matt right now because I'm trying to figure out, like, why didn't we make this? Why didn't we do this? Like, man, is it too late to partner? Are you?
You guys want to come on board?
Look, I
Listen,
mean, look, this is, I like what your father told you. If you want to make $1 billion or have $1 billion company solve a $10 billion problem, that is incredible advice. And I never thought about it that way. And look, this has been I'm pretty sure you can go into a lot more detail about your story and the path to get to do this. But I would like you to give us two more tips, if you can, to all the aspiring entrepreneurs out there who might have a $10 billion problem that they can solve. Like, what are what
Yep.
are the steps that they can take to roll out their companies, or even just get it out to the marketplace and create all these wonderful partnerships like you've done?
yes.
Look, number one, and you said that as you took, I think, a little bit for granted, but it is so easy as an entrepreneur to chase the latest market trend, right?
Mm.
When when VR was hot, everybody wanted to do VR. When crypto became hot, everyone wanted to be crypto, right? And so I cannot overemphasize the importance enough of actually first asking, is the problem you are solving actually a $10 billion problem? That if you asked 10 of your friends whether they needed it today, they would
Mm.
say yes,
Mm.
right?
Oh,
I can
that's
tell you
good.
that 9 out of 10 of the companies that I have been pitched over the last year, right, have had something philosophical about crypto or whatever the hell it is that I can't figure out why anyone actually needs it. And I think starting there, number one, right? And number two is figure out how to create that win-win-win product dynamic, because the only way a business like this works, people think if I just build a great product for the customer, it'll work. You got to build a great product for the customer and the landlord and the airlines and the banks and everybody else, right? And so if you haven't figured out that win-win-win stakeholder alignment, you'll start to make progress and then get stopped in your tracks the minute you crash, try to cross the next step. And so that was probably the most complex part about making Bilt work is how do you make the economics work for the resident, the renter, for the landlord, for the airlines that partner with us, for the bank, for the mortgage companies, right? And I
Right.
think figuring the puzzle is probably one of the most important pieces. And I'll just throw one freebie out there, which is distribution. And you guys, I think,
Mm.
know this better than anybody from your stuff. But you can have the best product in the world, and if you just think that you're going to put it up on Facebook ads,
Mm.
it's not going to work. It does
It's
Facts.
not
not.
work. You need distribution, right? For me, that was partnering with institutional apartment owners and property managers to help push this product out, right? For
Yeah.
others, it's partnering with a retailer. For others, it's partnering with an Amazon, right? But if you don't
Mm.
have distribution, you can have the coolest product in the world. You can have the
I,
coolest celebrity friends to help you get the initial buzz. But all that does is get you one spike, and it's not sustainable long term. And so that is the third
Add,
freebie.
adding
Yeah,
value and collaboration, basically.
right.
that's right. Yeah,
The
that's right.
distribution is really big because people think about distribution. And when you said that, I immediately thought that's what we do. We distribute information consistently, right? So it's sometimes it's not
Right.
a physical product, but just being able to be consistent and distributing the right products and put in front of the right people. That's a really good tip.
And
No,
look,
great,
like
great tip.
you guys have great distribution too, right? Like every guest you come on is now a distribution channel for your show to their followers too. And I think
Yeah.
that is a great example of good distribution.
Absolutely, Encore. So, look, I know we're running on time right here, but I want to first of all thank you for coming on the show today. We really appreciate your time. But tell our audience, how do they apply for a Bilt Mastercard? How do the tenants apply? How does the landlord apply? Give us that information so they can go check you guys out.
Yeah, so easy, biltcard.com, BILT card.com. You can
Hmm.
learn more about how it all works. You can sign up in as little as 2 minutes. You can,
Okay.
once you get approved, you get actually your card instantly to pay your rent digitally right there, and start earning points. And yeah, you can always find me more on Instagram. I try to keep everyone up to date with some fun stuff on there. So thanks for having me, guys. It's
What's your
been fun.
Instagram?
It's Ankur Jain, just ANKURJAIN.
There you have it. Encore Jain, thank you for coming on the show today. We really appreciate your time. Everybody, make sure you guys tap in with Bilt Card and go get it, man. Go get those points. You're already paying
Yes.
rent, right?
Get the points, right?
Go get
You
some
are. I
points.
mean, you're getting more points than a homeowner at this point. You're getting points to rent and prepare yourselves. You're getting, you're able to do so much with this card. I'm so excited for our future homeowners because I'm calling you guys future homeowners because you're not renting forever. But to be able to save for your down payment, to be able to use this card to build awards points, to build your credit, you're really getting everything you need to prepare yourself for homeownership. So Built is where it's at.
Absolutely. Encore, thank you for your
Thanks so
time
much,
today,
guys.
brother.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Encore. Nice to meet you.
Man, what an incredible product, Kiana. That was a great conversation. Shout out to Encore Jane. Shout out to everybody at the Bilt Card family. Look, you guys better go and apply because you're going to pay rent anyway. You might as well get some points and some benefits.
Correct. They need to apply for this card, get the points, get the benefits, save for their down payment, prepare themselves for home ownership. I mean, there's nothing else to lose. And I love that rent day. Rent day is like, wow. So on the
Yeah,
first of the month, you can plan to say, you know what? I know I got to pay rent, but I can also go out to eat and get triple rewards and all these incentives that they have. I think that is such a great thing. You guys need to sign up for this card today and really utilize this to help you on your path to home ownership.
yeah, and build your credit. You know, you're paying rent. Your
Yeah.
credit might be low right now. You got this credit card. You're paying your rent. You're paying it off every single month, and be
Right.
responsible. Because remember, guys, this is a credit card. Let's first things first. So you got to be responsible with this. You got to make sure you pay your damn bills, right? Just because they
Yes.
may give you a credit of 10, 20,000, don't be sitting over here messing up your money. Pay your rent,
Correct.
then pay the card off, so you can see an increase of your credit score sooner than later, so you can go out there and buy real estate and get
Yes.
from being a renter to an owner, because that's the ultimate goal.
The ultimate goal. And 60 points, he says, is on the average what people are increasing. So 60 points, I'm down. That takes you from if you were at a 640, you got 60 points. You 700. You in there.
You in
I
there.
really I'm excited about this card. I hope they enjoyed the episode. Make sure you guys tune in, share it to a friend, share it to 10 different people that you know that need to understand how this will work, get points, increase their credit with a reputable company, and use the Built credit card.
Absolutely, man. So this was a great show. And as always, when you guys are ready to buy a property, if you're looking to buy in the state of Georgia, you need to hit up Watson Realty Co. And if you
Yes.
need financing, MG the Mortgage Guy, we over here licensed in 21 states. Go to applywithmg.com. We would love to help you guys. We are not just influencers and real estate people who do content. We are transactional professionals. We help a lot of people achieve their real estate
Yep.
goals. So make sure if you guys are learning from Kiana and myself, make sure that you're working with us as well.
Absolutely. I love that you said that. We are not for entertainment purposes.
Nope.
We entertain, but we educate, but we are actually transactional. We close on deals every single day. And I look forward to Matt and I doing way more business going into this year. So make sure you hit us up for any of your buying and selling needs. And I have agents across the country in my online training platform. So I don't care where you're looking, I have the right person for you.
Well, let's do it, man. So again, like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you guys go Rants and Gems on audio. Go listen to it. Go to the playlist here on EYL Network. Binge watch. There's a lot of information. And in 2023, we're going to help you guys be legendary with real estate. And we're going to bring you guys the hottest content that's out there in the marketplace when it comes to real estate. So this is Matt Garland, NMLS number 58700, better known as MG the Mortgage Guy.
And my name is Quiana Watson, license number 317576, better known as
Yo, why you gotta do all of like? My name is Quiana.
Another incredible episode of the Rants and Gems show.
Let him have it, broker extraordinaire. Peace, y'all.